just make your job easy.
It's been a rough start to hub life in Queensland as the Eagles fall to 1-2 following the club's disappointing 30-point loss to a tenacious Lions side. It's back to the drawing board once again for Saturday's showdown against the Power as the club looks to get their 2020 season back on track. Welcome to this week's episode of Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Kennards Hire. Shop in store or online, kennards.com.au. Tyson Beattie, found your way back to the chair. Welcome once again.
Well, Steve, if last week was like an episode of Tiger King, this week was like an episode of The Walking Dead.
Sorry, what?
Now, I'm not saying we played like zombies or we played against zombies, but it's the recurring plot line, like in that blockbuster show, that we saw again in the third quarter on Saturday night. A three-quarter burst from a hungry opposition in dewy, greasy conditions, and it leaves West Coast, as you mentioned, 1-2 on the season.
That's a stretch, but I do love pop culture, so I'll give it to you. When Dane Zorko was announced as out, I thought, you beauty, here we go. A bit of like for like, we lose Gov, both superstars out. I know not the same line, but I mean, Zorko, they haven't won a game without Zorko since 2012.
It's amazing.
A remarkable stat. That was 3 weeks after his debut. But in the end, the Lions midfield did not miss a beat. They had some genuine superstars on the night, and they're putting their hand up for best midfield, or probably top 3 midfield of the competition if they can fire like that.
Well, there's no doubt that Brisbane is a serious premiership threat. Their midfield is fantastic. Lachie Neale, 32 touches, 7 clearances. McCluggage, 26 possessions. Lions, 25 disposals. We've now lost in clearances, contested ball and ground balls in the last 2 games in the hub. You can get away with it with that kick mark spread game when it's nice and dry, but when it's slippery, it's pretty tough.
You could see that first goal, the Darling goal over the top. It was the first one of those slingshot-type rebounding from half-back goals that I can almost remember in the 2 weeks. Now, that's the staple mark of our game. That's our one wood. That's how we're able to expose so many teams at Optus Stadium. But unfortunately, those tactics, they need to be morphed into something a little different up there on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, Stephen, the game was lost in a 5-minute period in the third term.
It was brutal to watch, wasn't it?
It was. Just 17-3 inside 50s for the third term, 27% time in forward half. Now, let's have a look at these 3 moments here. It kicked off with the Jeddah free kick. Questionable. I thought he rolled in that tackle.
Very stiff, I thought, against Jeddah, but now we move on.
Then
only 3 goals were kicked to that point of the game, so giving away 1 inside forward 50. I think the umpires gave away about 4 or 5 free kick goals on the night. Was that too many in a low-scoring contest?
It was very 50-50. They had a deliberate from red, not ideal when you have Charlie from the boundary line. You'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And then a blind hat kick forward finds Lachie Neale. A little bit lucky there, one of his 2 goals for Brisbane.
Yeah, the Eagles midfield probably lowered their colours on the night, barring a couple of others. Shuey was questionable going into the game. Elliot Yeo getting worked on, 3-quarter time, heading into the 4th quarter. You know, how banged up are those boys? We'll have to watch for the St John of God medical report during the week. And we're obviously going to see Liam Ryan on that later on. I thought the worst. Let's hope he hasn't strained something there as he bolted over the line and kind of outstretched. Looked a very awkward landing. Let's hope those boys are all right. But your Kelly, Sheeds, Reddens just aren't quite clicking at the moment in those surroundings up there on the Gold Coast. Let's hope they can pull it together. But Natanui and Gaff, they were absolutely outstanding in that midfield core on the night. Nick Nat dominated an inexperienced Archie Smith coming in for Steph Martin, who's injured. 5 ground ball gets from Nick Nat. Remarkable in the conditions from a ruckman. I mean, Dommy Sheed led the team with 8. Shows you how rare they are. Led the contested possession count with 12. 9 clearances, 6 inside 50s, and of course the goal. 69% time on ground, Tyson Beattie. Now that's where a lot of the West Coast Eagles fans are in a bit of an uproar. They want to see more of Nick Nat. It's causing Oscar Allen to only have 45% of time on ground for that game. So you can see they're trying to get that split, and the debate will rage on between medical and Nick Nat.
Yeah, but obviously they've got a plan, so we have to stick to that plan. I'm not sure that the debate needs to be had. It needs to be determined by the team. They'll get it right, for sure.
Correct. And Andrew Gaff, 200 games, got to give a tip of the cap to him.
Unbelievable performance by Andrew Gaff. Much like his last 199, so consistent all the time. 30 touches, and Jamie Cripps also notched up his 150th game for the Eagles. Great runners, the pair of them, aren't they? But back on Gaffy, 2 interesting facts about Andrew Gaff here. There's only been 3 number 3s in West Coast history, in all that time since 1987. The other two, Chris Mainwaring and Chris Chard, and Andrew Gaff, pretty good as well.
Elite company, that.
But how about this one? Only Greg Williams and Robert Harvey have had more possessions after 199 games than Andrew Gaff. He's been underrated for a very long time.
Yeah, they are two superstars of the competition. To be in the same breath of those two, I think Gaffy would be very happy. Another man that does deserve a mention here on the review is Brad Shepherd. Thought his performance on Charlie Cameron was absolutely outstanding. Cameron, the brother, of course, of Jared, younger brother, plays here at the West Coast Eagles. The amount of one-on-ones that Shepherd was able to win. He can play tall, he plays small, great hybrid defender, and is just hard at the foot. He puts his body on the line no matter what. I think he will probably get the coaches' votes as far as West Coast were concerned on the night.
Some fans have made the point that maybe our three best players on the night, Nat Nui, Shepherd, Gaff, missed the 2018 Grand Final.
That's an interesting stat, TB. Glad you threw it in there. Good to see a couple of Archies out there on the ground as well.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic to see the Archie brothers square off for the first time in their careers. Now, Brendan's 26 and Callum is 22. They've had 4 different clubs between them, and like I said, this is the first time they've actually played against each other. They grew up in Armidale, played for South Fremantle. They're both outstanding young men. Brendan, one of the most articulate blokes you've ever met. And apparently their brothers are pretty smart fellows as well.
Apparently. But what's the one-year deal scenario?
Well, apparently that he's been in a one-year contract extension for the last 6 or 7 years. Remarkable that he's been continually able to push up and try and get games. He is a guy that we need to persist with, I think, but yeah, we'll see what happens this week.
It's a tough way to play your footy, living on the edge like that.
Now, I did like this moment from Tom Barras, Thumper. Have a look at this one. Big hit on McStay.
He's a big boy, Tommy B.
He is a big boy, and he needed to throw his weight around a little bit with McGovern not in the side on Saturday night.
All right, I did enjoy that. McStay did well to get up from that, actually. Now, it is time for our Kennards roasts of the round. There's always plenty to get through. Let's go with Jamie Cripps, 150 Eagles games on the night. Tried this little magnificent goal, the round contender on his back. Valiant effort, but in the end, 1 metre kick, turnover, definite roast. Now, Shannon Hearn, mixed bag from the ex-skipper on the night, had 12 disposals at 100% efficiency. You'd expect that from him. Oh, heart and mouth stuff in quarter number 1. Got absolutely tangled up in this contest. Glad to see him get back on his feet. But roasting, of course, for this Falcon to the scone. And, of course, Berry shrugging his tackle as well, kicking an important goal for the Lions. That is an absolute rarity as far as Shannon Hearn's concerned, giving up goals like that.
Very odd.
But footy in the face, that's a roast.
Absolutely. What about Petruccelli here? Now, I don't know who to roast here. Is it Starcevic for almost kicking an own goal, or Petch for not able to get this one off the toe and through for a goal?
Well, tough bounce there, but I do love a Quinella roast, so let's give it to both.
Didn't quite sit up. What about the big O, Oscar McInerney, going for goal here in the third quarter?
Plunked it well, but whoa, the execution.
Not pretty.
Now, this Cameron goal. Now, have a look at this. How far is Lincoln McCarthy ahead of Charlie Cameron? The umpire's right there.
The rule is the closest player.
Of course it is, but I know Lincoln McCarthy's left footer, so we could be arguing about nothing, but I don't want the ball in Charlie Cameron's hands at that moment, especially when he didn't deserve to have the ball.
He was always going to kick that one. Now, have a look at this. Now, I've got some concerns here, Thumper. This is on our YouTube page, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, make sure you do. But have a look at this. There is a movement to bring back Benny Roberts and get rid of me. Hashtag bring back Benny Roberts. Now, unless every single one of Benny's family members is actually liking that, I'm in big trouble.
Right, it's a groundswell of support, but the burner account from Ben Roberts well and truly active there. I'm going to go across to El Grotto in Scarborough. The no mullets policy being taken into effect, costing this young man and his mum a night out on his 18th birthday. What's Duggo going to do when he wants to go down to Scarborough for a beverage? Fast forward, win a flag, go down to El Grotto for a beer. Can't let Duggo in.
Yeah, I think you can make exceptions for a premiership.
I don't like exceptions, but anyway, I think they're going to have to. Let's go round the grounds now. We're going to look at big Soldo for the Richmond Tigers, just absolutely walloping Higgins there in the contest. No communication. He's sure you've got to disguise deliberates better than that. There's better ways to do that, and I haven't played 250 AFL games, but I think I could have done better than that.
What about this one from Bailey Dale? A snap on the left foot. He's about 10 metres out, slight angle.
It's as good as your golf game, I reckon.
That is a shocking, absolute whiff there, and it cost him a goal.
Of course it did. Now we're going on to our winner, and it's down at the Cattery, Saturday night. Surprise performance. When you've got future Hall of Fame superstars in Gary Ablett Jr., missing him from the top of the square, you just know it's not your night. But he's been trumped by a teammate for the winner. Yeah,
this play from Radicalia, he actually punches the ball back out. Absolutely unbelievable. Did he have a complete brain fade or what?
I don't know. When you lose by less than a goal, though, that's unfortunate for you.